What I'd like to discuss is the good news, the optimism side, and the fact that you and I both either have clients or friends or colleagues that are doing very, very well. I was just somewhere last week in out of state, and they were like, staff is their issue again. It wasn't for a while. They have more work. They're having to say no. They're certainly cherry picking, but they have a lot of work. And I think what you said about whether this trend continues or not, John, and I want these to be some of the topics we land on. You and I, since 2017, have been involved with what's called the rebel movement, which, like it or not, we've always said, we sound like parrots. Remove yourself from the idea that you are in the insurance claims industry, because this is the kind of things that are happening, and building your brand about a B2C, straight to consumer, as opposed to carrier. It just never has made more sense than it has right now. And I am happy to say I've watched not nearly enough people in the industry, but a good size of people who have shifted. And that might include leaving Xactimate and getting away from that price fix thing, but also just taking ownership and things like that. So what are some of your thoughts of seeing some? I know we had a lot of conversations. I'd like you to kick off, like, what's the positives of this?
Well, let's talk about your client that you visited last week. What's the differentiator there? Why are they successful and other clients aren't right now? Is it market? Is it brand? What's your gut reaction?
So I want to call out this, and you get this all the time. These things don't work in my market, Klark, John. I live in Southern California or Northern California or Detroit. You don't know what it's like here. And I was like, I don't live there, but I certainly know people that do. And if 2 towns away, if I told you that guy was swamped, what would you say? Everyone thinks their market has some kind of black cloud over it. The specific case last week, and I will say, if I'm doing my own AI analysis in my head, because I'm not nearly as fast as Grok, I look at what the common denominator is of people that are successful, and they have worked on relationships in different ways. Diversification is one of them, but have focused on a lot of things that I think you and I just think are non-negotiables, which are your brand. But diversification, like, it's all your consumers, they shop and buy and have behaviors in different ways. You've got to kind of be in a little bit of all of them. And you'll eventually, if you're looking at the data, you'll know which one is probably returning more or not. But last week, the gentleman, the team, by the way, big operator, between 19 and 22 million. They live up north. So depending on the weather, there's a fluctuation, but holding right around that 20 million relationships. They're not plumbers. They're not TPAs. They're not a little bit of program. They are a franchise, and that's interesting. But they don't look at themselves as insurance company driven. They would be too much of a risk if you put a $20 million business, 30% of your jobs, 50% of your jobs come from carriers. You're racing on the line of a razor. That's a turn off that program. You're cut off. But they have relationships long term. They've been there. They are 10 plus, 12 plus years, just becoming the trusted professionals in their market and stuff like that. So that's a common denominator. When I can list in my head the 10 people that are telling me that they're beating their numbers every year, that they're hitting their goals, they are focused on a diversification, but it's relationship marketing, brand marketing. So that was that's to answer your question for them.
I'm not shocked. This is what we said. Well, I guess we're at a year and a half ago now.
It was 18
we talked about brand reputation. Go out and get reviews. Let me say, I'll be kind of mean and say, if your phone's not ringing, but you're doing some pay-per-click and you're doing some SEO or SEM, and you feel like you're doing all the things digitally, you sponsor a softball or a little league team in town, you feel like your marketing's on point, and you've only got 15 reviews, that's the reason you're not getting phone calls. I sat on the phone with 2 clients yesterday both in the same state, one on the west side of the state, one on the east side of the state. East is kind of the boonies. West side is, it's the tech hub of the country. And he's not getting calls. It's not a website issue. It's not a website conversion issue. He's doing all the things. He's spending plenty of money to drive that in. That's a market where very few people could say it doesn't work in my market. But when the tech bros don't have money to spend, we're in a little bit of a pickle. I literally last night I went through different layoffs happening in the tech sector. IBM, Oracle, Microsoft. Tens of thousands of layoffs happened in the last 4 or 5 days.